Words from Day on Magic in the Morning. 8:35 is our time. Mike Barrett in the studio with us for Good Policies. Good morning, buddy.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, quick question.
Quick answer.
Well, it won't be.
Oh,
You know us.
long answer.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was fantastic. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law and their 3 kids flew in from southeast Missouri. My in-laws didn't know about it. My son didn't know about it. So it was a surprise the day they all showed up. And it was awesome.
How many people?
It was 5 people. But they all stayed at my house, so I knew about it.
Well, all of a sudden, there's 5 people in the house with Charlie and your boy and their kids.
It was a little insane, but worth every minute of it.
All right, so who fell asleep on the couch first?
Oh, it was definitely me.
Okay.
There's no doubt. I'm the old guy in the family, so it was definitely me.
All right, we started a 2-parter last week. We're talking insurance, and that's what we talk about with Mike from Barrett Insurance. And you said this week we'd continue our conversation and talk about, I believe the correct term is disability income insurance.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. Disability insurance is what's going to help supplement or keep you protected because you will be losing income if a disability is occurring for you in your situation. And this is a follow-up to last week where we talked about life insurance protecting your loved ones should you die. And kind of the thing that kicked this all off for us was that it's open enrollment for medical insurance, health insurance.
Right.
So it's, not a bad thing to think about these other things too. So disability insurance, what is that going to do? Well, that's going to protect you. And there's a million different ways to do this. It's just like any other insurance. You get what you pay for. So you can do different tiering and work with different options and discuss different quoting options with different companies and try to make sure you have some level of protection. Because if, let's say, I suffered a stroke today, and I was unable to work for any period of time, that's lost income.
Okay.
So how do I protect that? That's the discussion you're having.
So we're talking about then something that will disable you from working outside of a workplace incident, obviously, because you would have workers' comp and stuff like that.
Right. If it's an injury you sustained, that's going to be a little bit different.
Right.
Okay. So workers' comp is workers' comp. But if it's a medical thing that has occurred that's caused the disability, then that's something that you need to think about protecting. And there's different types of disability insurance. There's some that you get that they will pay for your lost income for your job if you can't work at all. But if you can work any job other than the job you're trained for, then you don't necessarily qualify. Where some people like doctors, lawyers, they would get a disability product that would be their job. A job that they have their degree and their education in, if they are unable to do that level of work versus mopping a floor somewhere or cleaning windows.
All right. So some places will keep you on the payroll and they'll just give you a different job.
Yeah. So it's the biggest thing. There's so many level of complexities here that it's not worthy of getting into it on the air. But it's worthy of hitting the highlights and hitting the high notes, I guess I'll say, is just things to kind of throw some thought starters out there so that maybe you'll have that conversation and figure out if that's something that you should be looking into. Many employers offer this, so you may already have it through your employer. Aflac is another great product that we have. Aflac is like a supplemental type of insurance, if you want to call it that, where you can have different levels, whether, it's a diagnosis of cancer or if it's emergency medical treatment where you can get supplemental income where it's based on a flat dollar rate per event, which is very clearly outlined in the policy, but can help you. And it's money that comes directly to you, the insured, and not tied to medical bills or anything like that. It's your money.
Right,
so,
'cause you're going to have bills anyways. You're going to have your rent, your mortgage, your car payment,
right.
your insurance
but
payment.
Even like you go back to if you had a medical episode that would be covered by medical insurance, if it triggers Aflac coverage pays you directly. It's not tied to the medical insurance. So it's really your option to have supplemental. It's coverage that's additional for you.
And the variants are, as you mentioned, endless.
They really are. And that's why, when it comes to home and auto and business and things like that, it's very clear. This is what you do. This is how you do it. I mean, it's a pretty straight line. When it comes to these things, including life insurance, I think there's too many variables at play because even though $500,000 may work for your friend John, it may not work for you. Or maybe it is something that you would like to have for life insurance, but you simply can't afford that. Well, then you got to, and the same would be said for Aflac products, disability products, and everything, where it never is it more true that you're balancing cost and coverage than with those product lines. That's really what it comes down to, because you can buy to the nth degree of disability coverage, never use it, but have paid a tremendous amount of money And, it's kind of a scary proposition. So it's really about just protecting your future, protecting your bottom line.
Well, you say it all the time. It's in your ad campaigns and everything. The worst time to find out is when a loss occurs, and when you can't pay your bills.
That's a big loss.
You can't say, "Hey, I think I'm going to get disability insurance." now."
Right. You can't you can't get a car insurance after you've had an accident. So it's something that you should be thinking about, and it's something that as you continue to grow, because it's very easy to say, "Well, I'll get it tomorrow." I think procrastination is probably a very good way to describe everybody, including myself.
Yeah, guilty.
When it comes to these things, whereas a bank forces you to get homeowners insurance if you have a mortgage, or a bank forces you to get auto insurance if you have an auto loan, or the state requires you anyway to have auto insurance. These are things that you didn't really have a choice in the matter, so you got it. Same can be said with flood insurance. Most banks are requiring that. That's why you have that. Nobody is requiring the life, disability, short-term disability, long-term disability, long-term care. None of that. That's something that is all on you and incumbent upon you to think about before that situation occurs.
Well, it's like you said, auto and home insurance. We're just using those two examples there. You've got a $250,000 home. You want a minimum of $250,000 in coverage. You got a $50,000 truck. You want at least $50,000 in coverage there. But that's just to protect yourself.
Right. From the loss of an asset, the loss
Right.
of something real, whereas money and recovery of it is completely open-ended. So,
Right. Well,
yeah.
where if you used a stroke as an example, you don't know how long you'll be out of work. You don't know the impact of that. So it's not like, well, I need only $100,000 worth of coverage.
Right. So you're working on limits, you're working on deductibles, which with like a disability product, the deductible is more of a, not necessarily an out-of-pocket per se, like you would see if you had $1,000 loss on a home and auto, they'd give you a $500 check if you had a $500 deductible. Deductible with disability is in the form of waiting periods. So you're picking the specific amount of time, whether it be short or long, that you want to have coverage not kick in and then kick in after that date to save money. That's a deductible type of option.
Well, we can definitely see why you're saying that there's not enough time to do this on the air.
No,
that's for sure. Because
no.
of the variables. But it's what you do.
Yeah.
It's what you've been doing, and you can give people the correct information so they can make a good
We can help you through the
decision.
process of finding what may work for you. Absolutely. And if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to give us a call, 748-5224. You can visit us right on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Your website is thebarrettagency.com, Google, Facebook, and YouTube, all Barrett Insurance
Well,
Agents.
you mentioned, and some folks may have missed our chat last week, we talked about life insurance last time. They can watch that or listen to that on your YouTube page.
I got to get it on there. We got new computers at the office,
Okay.
so the programs that we use to edit these and put them to the Facebook page and our website are gone.
You need to do what I do. Keep one around that works and use that for just
I know. I wasn't prepared for that fact, because we had Windows 7 computers, and of course support for that ends this year. So we thought, time for Windows 10, 10 years after it was released. So we finally did that, but I lost my software. So we'll work on that this week, and I'll retroactively post them.
Okay. But you always follow them on YouTube and Facebook and here in the studio. Hope you have a great day today. Be safe out there, okay?
Yes, you too. Thank you.
That sound like Hill Street Blues to you? Be careful out there. All right. We've got holiday classics coming your way here on Magic 97.7. First, some music from Owl City.